Welcome everybody to Year 9, Part 4, the season finale with the Virginia Beach Neptunes. We enter the episode at the trade deadline, number 2 in the conference and number 2 in the power rankings, coming off a 5-game win streak, trying to keep it going into the All-Star break with 4 more road games to enter the break. Two teams have already made some pretty big trades at the deadline, but we're not done yet. The Jazz gave away Anthony Black to the Sonics. Meanwhile, the Trailblazers traded Scoot Henderson to the Suns, who are right now fighting for a play-in spot and also trying to get into the top 6 in the Western Conference. But we're not done. We have a move to make, and other teams do as well. We start off with a trade between the Rockets and the Wizards, and the Rockets GM has made a counteroffer. They're trying to acquire Jarris Walker from the struggling Wizards who are selling and kind of resetting their roster. And this should get this deal done. The Rockets are trying to replace Santi Aldama and bring in Jarris Walker as their starting power forward to really round out this roster. And this deal is going to get it done. So they will acquire Jarris Walker, Yanku Erhan, and Julius Randle for Terry Morrison, Bryce Sensabaugh, a lottery-protected first-round pick in next year's draft, and Aldama. And this deal is done. The Rockets were targeting Murray Bailey over Jarris Walker, but Murray Bailey is a young player for the Pacers, and they are over 500 trying to fight for a play-in spot, so it makes no sense for the Pacers to get rid of one of their top up-and-coming players. So the Rockets target somebody else, and now their starting 5 looks very strong. And as one of the final moves at the deadline, the Atlanta Hawks are going to be sending Peter Wall, a 7'1" center, to the Toronto Raptors. That's pretty much a player swap at center and at small forward. Both teams want to do it, and it's going to get done. Samuel Ward and Peter Wall heading to the Raptors, and Wall is going to be their new starting center in place of John Collins, who is also injured right now, so it should help them out too. So the Raptors keep Jaden Hardy on their bench, which is big for their offense, and now they have a new center. Their lineup looks a whole lot better now. I tried for a bit to help the Pistons acquire kind of a new, semi-star player, but could not find deals to get either a power forward or a small forward in there, unfortunately. So we're just going to let them ride their year out and see if Anderson can maybe come back in the playoffs, but he might just be out for the entire season. Not really sure right now. But we're going to try and acquire Christian Tatum. It might take a lot. According to the trade finder, there's no offers found, but the Pelicans are selling. They're one of the worst teams. We're going to try and get a deal done here. If you do make this trade, you pretty much have to get rid of either Josh Green or Wendell Moore. You would also probably have to consider trading away Mauricio Barea or Quinn Hilliard to get this deal done. I would rather trade Agbaji, but we can't because he's hurt. But he's got like the perfect salary to get a deal done here. I'm curious if they're intrigued by Barea, but I also would like to keep him around at 25 years old. I don't want to trade away Eklund. I don't want to give away both Green and Wendell Moore. This could be tough. If we do trade away Barea, then that would probably give Mo Bamba some playing time. He's pretty much the only deal besides Hilliard that would get this done, but I think we need Hilliard for that off-the-bench offense. I think that's pretty important to where this team's been so far. Barea, 8.6 points per game, 6 rebounds off the bench, getting around 18 minutes of action. I don't want to lose him, but if we can get this defensive menace like Tatum, then I don't see a reason not to make the move. We throw in Barea, Isaiah Joe, and our first-round pick this season, not the Kings one that we still own for 2032. What do they say? I mean, they definitely could use a center, so I think we're going to have to keep Barea in here, but might have to put somebody better than Joe in here to get this deal done. They aren't a fan really of the assets. What if we do throw in somebody like Josh Green still with Barea? What do they say now? They just don't want to make the move. If we include the Kings pick instead, it goes up to 2 stars compared to 1. Include Barea and Josh Green. And now, what do they say? It's done. We have acquired Christian Tatum. We had to give away a little bit of depth, but I think we still have some good ones, especially once Agbaji comes back. We're going to be fine at guard and small forward. But this will leave Mo Bamba and probably Andrews too with more playing time off the bench now that Barea's gone. I would have liked to keep the guy, but I think getting a defensive, athletic, high-flying 2-guard like Tatum is more important than a backup center. So that is the move that we made. And now Tatum, he's on a 4-year contract. So we have him under contract for 4 seasons. That's going to line up with Boyd's extension and Yovi's too. So maybe he's going to be a mainstay. He's not going to be a big part of the offense. We saw last episode that this guy's not really much of a shooter. I don't expect him to take too many shots per game. And he'll play probably around 24, 25 minutes until we see more of him and get more acquainted with his play style. But according to his tendencies, shot tendency is lower than the average at this position, but he will shoot some close shots. He'll shoot the open mid-range ones, which I don't really have a problem with. But threes aren't going to be too common, which is good because he's not too great at those. So don't expect too many bad shots by him, but he will maybe take some contested mid-range shots. Got to keep that in mind. But everything else is pretty damn low, so I don't expect him to get the rock a lot on offense. But this guy has the badges for defense. He's athletic. He's got a high IQ. And I think he's the perfect guy for this team to really round things out. And now we can make the push for the end of the season, for the playoffs. All right, so after that big move, the final trade of the deadline, we are going to play Tatum for about 28 minutes. He'll get that Wendell Moore starting role, and Moore will come off the bench, getting 21 minutes per game. Plan where Josh Green and himself was playing before the trade. Andrews will stay at 14 minutes off the bench. We're going to give Mo Bamba 20 with most of those center minutes. And yeah, I think this should work out. And hopefully it won't affect team chemistry too much. And we can just keep plugging away here and keep this win streak up entering the All-Star break. So again, a brief recap of the deadline. Some big moves by a couple of teams. Anthony Black to the Sonics. Scoot Henderson to the Suns. Jarris Walker to the Rockets. And Peter Wall to the Raptors. Followed by Christian Tatum to the Neptunes. Close win against the Heat. We drop a game by 30 against the Sixers, who are up to 30 wins on the season. We demolish the Pacers and we lose against the Nets to leave us in 4th place in the conference. Entering the All-Star break, 4.5 games back from Detroit, who continues to win without Edward Anderson. In the Rising Stars Challenge, Keith Mann of the Orlando Magic drops 22 points for Team USA. Billy Willis, 9, 12, and 8 here in this game. That's pretty absurd. And for Team Worlds, 15 points for Yee, 14 for Peter Navarro. Cool. Looks like Jason Tatum won the 3-point contest, and Price of the Suns wins the slam dunk contest. And Team Ja beats Team Victor by 6 in the All-Star game. 23 for Cade Cunningham, 20 for Ja Morant. 21 for Tatum, 16, 7, and 7 for Boyd. But Team Victor falls in a close game. That will take us into a month where we only have really 2 road games. The rest are at home. And after that, we have a big month with road games. So very different months to end our seasons, but we're going to get through both of them today. And let's see where things go approaching another game against the Grizzlies. We just killed the Kings, dropping 144. Now Agbaji can come back, and we're going to put him into our lineup for sure. I think this will leave Wendell Moore and Hilliard with a little bit less playing time, but we'll still get some good stuff for Agbaji if I actually can put him up into the lineup. Well, right after that, we dropped 2 games, giving up over 135 points in both. We lost against the breeze of all teams. Wilson Towns led us in scoring. Mac Boyd 3 for 12 from the field. Jovanovic 7 for 16. We allowed 38 points to Adrian Morrison. He absolutely just demolished us. And then we also lost another one. Despite 48, 10, and 6 from Boyd, we lose by 6 in overtime. Not what you want to see. A lot of guys shot poorly. Jovanovic, Towns, and Tatum all well below 50% shooting, and that's not games that you want to lose. That'll take us into a close one. Well, it could be a close one against the Grizzlies. Semcast it. We have quite a close game here. The Grizzlies have come back in the third quarter and have kind of tied things up. Heading into the fourth quarter. Good start for us here in the fourth. And if it's close late, which it is, 6:02 left to play. Let's see how this one unfolds. It's going to be our first look at Tatum as a Neptune, which could be fun. Gonna need his defense here in this game for sure. Might want to move him on to Ja Morant, because I think right now it's Jovanovic on Ja. Tatum's shot is up and good, and it's a 4-point game. He's got 21. I am going to make that move, and hopefully Tatum is not a play initiator. Right now he's handling the ball, but I don't think he should be. But on Ja Morant, we are going to put Tatum on him. Hopefully he can do a good job. Quick shot for Kuminga off the feed from Boyd, and he laces it from deep. Green, Tatum kind of gets around it. They switch, and Morgan is left open. Look at the shot's no good, and the ball is tipped right to the hands of Mac Boyd. Kuminga almost got the bucket on the other end. It's going to be the 4th shooting foul against Ja Morant. Gotta watch out for that foul trouble here with 5 to play. A couple nice plays here by Kuminga in the 4th, and he's going to push our lead back to 9. Good pass. Rogers pulls the trigger, but unable to hit the shots. Tatum with it. He hands it off to Boyd out of a shot. And Boyd scores over Jason Tatum. Attack in the basket, and the hoop and the harm for Jason Tatum. They're in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. That's not good. Jovanovic gets the handoff, throws it up over Morant. That one's going to count. Attack in the basket again. Tatum just in and out this time. Nice pass. Boyd left it short. Rogers the stop, but a good feed down low by Tatum. Memphis trying to find a good look. It's an open one for Tatum, and he connects behind the arc. Boyd trying to answer back. Good, and he was fouled by Rogers. This guy always shows up in the fourth quarter when things start to really count. 3:08 on the clock. The free throw is good. He keeps going right at Kuminga. It's not really working too well for him. 2 straight misses down low for Jason Tatum. Christian Tatum with a nice driving take. All right, so showing what he can do on the offensive end. He can just be a good guy that can cut and, drive to the rim on his own. I'll take it. They're really going to foul again with 0.2 on the clock. I guess we're going to see some MVP chance for Boyd. He's not first place still. I'm pretty sure Glenn Carroll's still in first in voting. But free throws to end the game for Boyd. 134 to 129, your final score. The Neptunes take down Memphis once again. That was a 45-point game for Mac Boyd. That's incredible. Tatum, 3 for 6, 1 steal, 1 block at 5 turnovers. Let's go and try to address his assignments for his plays. Both Ja and Tatum played very well, but Tatum has kind of dropped out of the MVP race. And I guess Wemby just surpassed Carroll because during that game, Carroll was still in first. So Wemby surpasses Carroll for MVP. And now I guess Tatum's back in the top 5. So I guess I was wrong. Cool. And for Christian, Tatum definitely don't want PNR ball handler as one of his top plays. Definitely not going to happen. I think I'll probably just prefer for his top play to be cutter. And then for his secondary play, maybe to be like post up low. But even then, I'm not sure that I want this guy to touch the ball that much on offense. So I'm just not going to make any plays for him besides the cutter plays. There's only 5 of those in this playbook. And for Tatum, let's go and edit his guy to make sure he's not a play initiator. And it looks like he is a play initiator, but we're going to take that off for him for now. I'll take us into a game against the Warriors, who are 33-29 coming in. Definitely worse than I kind of thought they would be. It's been a story for a couple of different teams this season. A strong finish to that third quarter will give us a nice lead, and we're going to take this one 128-112. Apparently Boyd played very well, and yeah, 37-5-5. 20 off the bench for Wilson Towns. 4 for 11 for Tatum, but he has stuff that the stat sheet: 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 6 assists. Good job by him. And Matthew Oakley drops 32 and 11, 23 for Buford, but Devin Booker 6, 5 and 6, 3 for 12 from the field, and AC Cole must be hurt because he did not play in this game. And it looks like he is hurt. Right knee tendonitis, but he should be back come playoff time. Hopefully the Warriors can still make the playoffs. Only 3 games above 500. And now we have an injury out of a loss against the Magic. We are really not playing our best basketball as of late. We're just kind of splitting games back and forth, and now we're going to be missing Jonathan Kuminga for like a week and a half or so. So honestly, I think in Kuminga's place, we're going to give Wendell Moore the bulk of this playing time, and that will free up more minutes off the bench for Agbaji and probably Quinn Hilliard too. So give more minutes to all these players. But yeah, most of our recent losses have been very close. We lost by 8 against the Hawks, who are just over 500. The Sixers, we lost by 6, and we lose by 5 against the Magic. The defense still does not seem to be a whole lot better after acquiring Tatum. Boyd drops 41 here in the loss, but they had 7 different guys in double figures. And now I want to watch this game against the Sonics, who are 35-27. We're still 4th in the conference, but we are 4-6 in our last 10. Not what I thought was going to happen around this stage in the season. Not at all. Simcast, at least the first half. Kind of a low-scoring first quarter, but in the second, the Sonics jump in front. And approaching halftime, they're going to have a halftime lead. We just allowed 62 points in the first half, thanks to a 43-point second quarter. And let's jump in the rest of the way. They lead by 6 with half of the third quarter left to go. We have got to play better down the stretch, but Mac Boyd has been fatigued in most of these games that we've jumped into lately. Tatum attacks and scores off the window. At least he's doing a good job with those cutting plays. But we've shot a whole lot worse than Seattle has in this one. Got to play some better defense, lock down guys like Chuck Curley and Anthony Black, and get a win here at home. That was not good defense at all. 18 points for Chuck Curley, 89% from the field. What's going on here? Out to Wendell Moore. He laces one from deep. 3-point game. And it's stolen. Jalen Duren read the pass. A bad one by Chuck Curley, and Tatum is fouled on the other end. Delano Collins playing very well. They just switched the picture, didn't show Tatum. I don't know why. But Collins having a nice 4-game stretch. And, Tatum is not a good free throw shooter. So that is going to be, one downside to him. He does split the free throws here. Siakam's now in for Seattle. Cook early attacks and bounces it back out. Really good defense. Temple has to launch. Good stop. Whoa, a little wayward pass inside, but Bamba got Siakam up in the air, and we're tied at 79. Green comes up for Chuck early. He fires a contested shot, no good. Downs pulls down the board. Andrews leaves it for Bamba. He steps back and misses the jump shots. Rather than just go right to the rim with that. 31 rebounds in the game for Seattle. Temple for 3. It's online. Hilliard attacks the basket off the window over Chuck Early. Siakam trying to get aggressive. In the paint, going up with it, and they call Bamba for a goaltend. Quick 3 for Hilliard off the screen. He finally knocks one down. I feel like those have been kind of few and far between. We're tied again. Off the dribble, little step back jumper. That's a tough angle for Siakam. On the other end, Hilliard throws it up and over Temple to put us in front. Siakam going right at Bamba again. Picks up his dribble, spins, and lays it in. Good little cross-court move. A deep shot for Hilliard. 2 for 2 behind the arc. He's got 10 third-quarter points. Ooh, Siakam with the blow-by and the short fadeaway shots. Up and good. Needs a better defense here from Bamba down the stretch. Hilliard over the top feed, and Bamba's got to finish that one. With that length that he has, he needs to be scoring over Siakam a bit more often on plays like that. But Towns blocks Temple. Still showing off what he can do on defense. Picking up right where he left off last episode. Time counting down, though, for the Sonics. Early has to go up with it, and Hilliard did not even put a hand up. We've got Mac Board in the game. Why not get this guy the rock? Deep 3. No good. And off. Siakam between the legs. Early. Up and over Hilliard. It rattles out. Yeah, the last shot here in the quarter. It's got to be a quick one. Hilliard rises and hits the layup with 0.2 on the clock to send us to the fourth quarter with a 1-point lead. Got to win these close ones here at home. Every game matters down the stretch with a 6.5 game gap between us and the Pistons in the Eastern Conference. The fourth quarter begins. Every play matters, including that. How does the fourth quarter almost always start with a turnover, whether it's us or them? For the last 3 or 4 games that we have watched that have gone to the fourth quarter, a turnover has been the first play. So Hilliard coughs it up. Siakam with it, guarded by Bamba still. And a good defensive possession by the Neptunes. Thank God that shot's no good. Towns just launches, but can't stick it. Got to find a shot here. The shot from behind the arc, it's good. Are you kidding? Hilliard from the elbow, unable to knock it down. McDaniels takes the screen. Wendell Moore just, stopped moving. I don't know what the heck just happened. It's always one team that starts the quarter with a little bit of a run. This time it's Seattle. But nice pass inside from Hilliard to find the rookie Cecil Andrews, who continues to impress me both with his efficient but minimal offensive scoring and his defense. Another clock counting down. Romero with the pump fake, and he misses the shot. Oh, Wendell Moore in the corner. Hilliard finds him. How do you miss that? He had the entire half of the court to himself. Every possession coming down to the wire for Seattle. McDaniel's three won't drop in. Boyd's going to check in for the Neptunes. Can he give us an offensive spark? Yes, he can. Cecil Andrews lays it in. Anthony Black in now for Seattle. Olsen Towns picks him up and got the initial stop, but Black blocked by Andrews on the second attempt. Green comes up for Boyd. It's a little pick and pop, but he does not make the extra pass. Tatum's got a good look from the mid-range, but can't knock it down. Gotta hit these open shots, man. Nice shuffle pass deflected by Andrews, and Boyd gets the steal. Andrews with a couple of nice plays on both ends here in the fourth quarter. Agbaji with a quick three, and it's in there! Timeout Seattle, now trailing for the first time since the opening of the quarter. They got Timmy Hayes back in the game as Temple lost the ball. Going to be a steal for Jovanovic. Shuffle pass to Tatum at the rim. He rocks the rim, and we lead by 5. Got to end this game strong. Just over half the quarter left. Every game the rest of the way matters a whole lot into seeding, so we really need to, hunker down and finish this game strong on both ends. Black attacks, shuffles it to Hayes, and Boyd, a nice hand up to probably cause the miss there. Tatum finds Agbaji at the rim. Maybe you should bring the ball up sometimes. That's a good pass. So 5-0 run to open the quarter by Seattle. We respond with one of our own. And Anthony Black tries to quiet the crowd with the throwdown. 5-point game under 6 to play. Agbaji got the switch to Siakam. Boyd's going to have to force a shot here. And that ends up being a good one, but it just is not online. Shot clock once again approaching 0. Black going right at Jovanovic. And he did not get that shot off in time. Little pump fake by Boyd trying to go at Hayes. He left Wendell Moore open and got the rebounds. Wendell Moore has got to hit these open shots, man. That's 2 now that he's missed. But Delano Collins just came in and fouled out with that foul on Boyd. So one of their better both offensive and defensive players will check out. So Siakam getting a lot of fourth quarter action here. And I guess he'll be their center the rest of the way, which will be good for our size, but hopefully we can just lock him down. Chuck Early back in the game for Seattle. He leaves it for Hayes. Easy lay-in over the undersized defender. More of the screen. Jovanovic, the baseline Euro step, but he can't lay it in. Braves freed up off the screen. The tray is offline, though. Still a 5-point game. And Boyd turns it over. Graves cuts off the pass. That wasn't a good one either. Hayes over Moore. He got it. 3-point ball game. We are not doing ourselves any favors right now. Tatum with it. Jovanovic just launches and nails it. Anthony Black trying to go isolation. Taking Jovanovic right to the rim, and it rolls off and out. Big stop right there. We're going to try and turn this into points, but Jalen Duren can't readjust enough to finish the play. Inside to Hayes. No good. Boyd with a couple of stops on him here in the quarter. He brings it up, trying to push the tempo. He's got a mismatch on Black. We're going to slow things down now, I guess. Moore on the pick and roll. Has his pass deflected. You got to get that one over the top next time. Duren was open, and they're going to get points on the other end because of it. Ivanovic tried to split defenders and turns it over. That's 2 straight. We're letting them right back in this game. We had a substantial lead. Big stop by Jalen Duren. Can't believe Siaka missed that. And Boyd can go right to the rim, but he's stripped again. 3 straight turnovers, and now they're going to get their buckets. Are you kidding? Boyd trying to go at Hayes. Jovanovic left open. Straight away. Big 3. It's back to 5. Early hands it off. Hayes off the window. Is not having luck scoring on Mac Boyd right now. Jovanovic with it. Tatum misses the corner 3. About 21 seconds separate the shot and game clocks. It's not over yet. A stop here could be enough to get the win, though. Early with the screen. The switch to Boyd. Back to Hayes. Another stop by Boyd. He picked up both of them. This fourth quarter defense by him has been immaculate. And they're going to have to foul one more time. It's going to be free throws for Boyd here. More MVP chance. But it's going to be the first time in 4 years that he's not going to win it. First free throw is up and good. And the second one to put the game away. It's in there. Perfect at the line again. Blocked by Boyd. It just gets better and better on defense. And now we can just run this clock out. What a fourth quarter defensively for Boyd. And a couple of key passes too. And that's going to be enough to clinch the win here at home against a really good Western Conference team. 112-105, your final score. Only 15 points allowed by our defense there in that fourth quarter. Enough to get the win. A rebound shy of a triple-double for Mac Boyd, but Jovanovic shot very well. Only got 9 attempts from the field. Hilliard, 7 for 12. And just enough to win. 7 blocks, 7 steals. Too many turnovers, though. And most of them belong to Boyd and Jovanovic here in this one. But we are back in the win column. And now we're about to head into a big stint of away games. But we have been better on those, I think, this year. 18-11 versus 21-15 at home. We'll see if we can keep things up the rest of the way. And after a win against the Hornets, we get Jonathan Kuminga back for hopefully the rest of the season. So he'll come in place of Wendell Moore, and this should be another big boost to help us out this last month. Well, we have another injury, and it's a pretty substantial one. Quinn Hilliard has a pretty major left ankle sprain, and he's going to miss about a month, so he will miss at least the first part of the playoffs, I think. And that does come in a game that we lost by 7, which does end a win streak that we sparked with that win against the Sonics. That was our longest win streak of the entire season at 7 games. And it ends against the Warriors, who are picking up some steam to close the year down 9 games over 500 after being 33-30 a couple weeks ago. We got 2 more games approaching this away game against the Spurs, which hopefully is going to be a close second half. We bounce back against the Wizards, and We take down the Miami Heat. We're playing really well these last 3 weeks. Here against the Spurs, we're having a pretty good offensive first half. And in the third quarter, we are only playing better, it looks like. Spurs trying to come back, but a lot of work to do. And we're going to win this one pretty handily on the road against San Antonio. 116-98. One of our best defensive games of, I think, the entire year. Don't often hold guys to below 100 points, but a lot of guys kind of shot poorly. Thompson, 9 for 19 is not terrible. Wemby, 7 for 17. They were not good on their threes. 15 for 56 behind the arc. We got 6 blocks for Boyd in this game. My God, he was awesome. They shot 27% behind the arc. I've never seen a team take that many threes in a game. That was the majority of their shot attempts. That's pretty incredible. Both teams turn the ball over a lot in that game too, but we come out on top. We have only 7 games left on the season, and we are 5 games back from Detroit. We have clinched a play-in spot, probably 1 or 2 wins away from securing a playoff spot. We take down both the Hawks and the Breeze. We have a new 5-game win streak with 5 left on the schedule. Now a nationally televised game against the Suns, who are 41-37. I will jump in if it's close just to see Scoot Henderson on a new team. And it looks like we're kind of getting bodied here in the first half. Suns playing very well on offense. We get off to a decent start here in the third. Let's jump in about here and see where things go as we're down 78-71. So Phoenix looking for win number 42 on the year. We're looking for win number 51. Jovanovic has a full path, but he got blocked from behind. Not too familiar with this Suns team, but they have played a bit better with Scoot, and I forgot to adjust one guy's position to make him able to start with Henderson in the lineup, so I will make that change after this one. Globe has to launch. It's offline. How is Boyd always fatigued? Hopefully he's going to be fine come playoff time. Shot clock approaching 0. Boyd is just going to fire it. I'll step back, and the shot is no good. Not sure who took it, but down by 7. Got to score here, make our way back in this ball game. Boyd the handoff, straight into a 3. It's a wide open look, and it toilet balls out, but Jalen Duren cleans things up. Bounce pass, and it's stolen off of Valentine. He couldn't hang on. Boyd the steal. We saw him play a strong fourth quarter defense in our last game. Looking for a similar performance here to make our way back towards the top of this conference. Time counting down. Jovanovic can't connect. Valentine going right at Boyd. Hoop in the harm. I don't see Boyd give up too many of those. That is the 7th foul on the Neptunes already in the quarter. What have we been doing to start this second half? Fouling left and right. The free throw's no good. Wilson Towns back in along with Mo Bamba, Agbaji, and Cecil Andrews. He gets the feed inside, and he misses it. Olsen with it. A long 2 is in there. 9-point lead for Phoenix. Bamba the screen. Towns the shot in response. Time counting down for the Suns. Olsen rises, but it misses. Up to Wendell Moore. Open look. He finally knocks one down. Screen comes from Serb. Olsen lets it fly, but unable to knock it down. To make it a one-score game, Agbaji lays it in for 2. Nice cut. He's got 12 points off the bench. 62% shooting. Turb going right at Andrews. He's going to fire it. Really good defense. Up to Agbaji. He's picked up by Wesley. Shuffle pass to Bamba. And eventually, Towns is fouled on the drive. It's the first on Olsen. Towns not known for his free throw shooting, but if he can knock down both, it'll be a 1-point game. And he got them both. Hell yeah. Scoot, Kuminga, and Boyd check back in. He launches and connects from downtown. He's got 26 points already, 11 here in the third. Bamba, the screen. Towns, another jump shot on the money. His mid-range shots don't often miss. Henderson, the handoff. He attacks the basket, blocked by Boyd from behind. Nothing but perfect help defense by him. Towns going right to the rack. And if he knocks down these free throws, we'll be in a tie ball game. He's 4 for 5 tonight. And there's his second miss. Just not banking on him going 2 for 2 on back-to-back stints. 1-point game, they'll have the final shot here in the quarter. Gordon Valentine comes up for the screen. Henderson, the long 2 off the money. And we go to the fourth quarter, trailing by 1. 85-84, anybody's game. It is the fourth quarter. Phoenix starts with possession. Is there going to be a turnover on the first play? Henderson. Now Price. Now back to Scoots. With time counting down. He's going to have to fire very contested shots. No turnover, but still got one. Now a bucket will put us in front. It's left for Kuminga. That's a good look and count it. Neptunes on top. 87-85. Time counting down. Olsen has to launch. Once again, great defense. Kuminga escapes from his man and knocks down another trifecta. He's got all 6 to open the quarter. Little pick and roll here. Valentine at the rim with nobody there to contest. Trying the same play as last time. This time Nelson sticks with him and gets a steal. It's Price, not Nelson, but he picks up the turnover regardless. And Scoot converts on the other end. It's back to a 1-point game. High ball screen. Towns dishes one out to Bamba in the corner. He missed the open 3. We have a mismatch somewhere. We got Andrews guarding Scoot, but he gets the stop. Towns over the top, but Bamba misses the dunk now. An open 3 miss and a dunk miss. And now they go over the top to Nelson to put them in front. Bamba, what the hell? And we turn the ball over. Nelson does get the steal this time off of Towns. Right into a 3 off the back iron for Olsen. Another high ball screen. Kuminga picked up by Olsen pretty well. No room to breathe. Andrews is stuffed. He gets it back. Moore has to jack it up, and he just nailed it. A huge 3. And we lead by 2. Wide open at the rim. That was horrible job by Mo Bamba, and we're tied at 93. For 3. Wilson Towns misses it. That was a pretty good look. And then Price just goes right to the rim. What is Kuminga doing there? Towns is fouled on the other end. Back at the line for some more free throws. First one is perfect. Jalen Duran's back in the game, thank God. And Towns goes 2 for 2. And it's stolen. Christian Tatum shows off the nice hands. Towns the other way. Missing it at the rim, but he cleans it up by himself. I think next year, if Wilson Towns progresses just a little bit further, there could potentially be a conversation between him and Jovanovic as who should really be the starter, because both guys are very similar players. But Towns, I think, has shown a lot better defensive ability, so if he does progress a bit better offensively, then I could see him starting maybe over Jovanovic. But a legal screen by Kelly Hunter turns the ball over, and by the way, Jalen Duren fouled out on that previous play, so he's, I guess, done now, so we're going to have to rely on either Andrews or Bamba the rest of the way. And we give it right back. Tatum coughs it up. Globe all by himself. He ties things up. Out of the corner comes Wendell Moore. Long two. He's got to start to be efficient on these jump shots. These last two games that we've watched in this episode have not been his best. High ball screen from Hunter. It's a pick and roll. We have not done a good job guarding those at all in this game. Tatum leaves it for Kuminga. What is it with these open shots not going in? That was one of the best looks you'll ever have. Step back three. How does that go in for them after we just missed that shot? Are you kidding? I don't believe it. All of a sudden, it's a 5-point Phoenix lead, and we turn it over again. Wendell Moore. He's coming out of this game. Going right back to that same play. It's going to be a pick and roll, and Hunter gets the lob. How can I see it? But they can't. It was the same exact play. We almost gave it back. Instead, Jovanovic flips it in. 4:30 left to go. Finally quiet this crowd. Globe lets it fly, but misses the mid-range jumper. With Boyd back in, we've got to really make a run here. Another good look. Jovanovic makes it a one-score game. The assist from Boyd. And they turn the ball over quickly. Scoot out of bounds. Huge play. What do we draw up here? Abaji a screen. Boyd gets around Wesley, but misses the jump shots. Not the cleanest look in the world. And Wesley going right to the rim. What was that defense? Look, Abaji never put a hand up. Damn. Tatum gets the screen from Agbaji this time. Nice feed, and Agbaji hits a little fadeaway. A handoff to Scoot. Where is Jovanovic? We're so lucky he just missed that. You've also missed plenty of open looks, so they were due for one. What is that pass? Kuminga, come on. These turnovers are killing me. You just don't give yourself a real chance when you turn the ball over this much in fourth quarters, man. This is honestly unbearable. So many just really bad passes. Jovanovic hits the mid-range two. The door is still open. Scoot scores one more time or gets open again. I'm going to put Tatum on him instead to finish the game. But I believe in this team to clutch up. We've seen it so many times already this season. But Globe's three doubles their lead. Gonna have to respond. Tatum penetrates and has it blocked by Kelly Hunter. And we are running out of time here. Globes pull up, luckily rims out. Not smart to go fast there if you're Phoenix. Screen off the corner. Tatum lets it fly and can't connect. Why are we going to him for a three-pointer this late? Supposed to be only cutting plays for him. Maybe that is one of them. Globe, the dagger. It's off. It's still alive. We just got to score quickly. Tatum this time hits the jump shot, but it's still a 2-score game. Scoots going right at Jovanovic, and that's what I was worried about. He's got 33, but Golub's getting open with Tatum on him, so we can't really afford to take him off as Boyd drives and just jams it all over Phoenix. The hell was that? And we are not going to foul yet. We're going to double Scoots, and now we're going to foul him. Why did we just take so long to do that? What's the idea there? I don't understand the management of that. MVP chance in Phoenix for Scoot. Acquired at the deadline. The free throws are up and in. You got to hit a 3, and it's got to be a quick one. Kuminga lets it fly and misses it. And this game is over. And Phoenix holds on to win 122-118, your final score. They end our win streak again. And we have 4 games left on the schedule. Not enough room to get to the 1 seed here this year, so I guess the Pistons are going to have it. (41-9) for Scoot, but a lot of those points came in the fourth quarter when the game was already over. With those free throws, I think he had like 10 to end the game, which is just insane. So 26 for Boyd and 21 from Kuminga, not enough to get the win. Despite good days off the bench for Towns, Agbaji, it's not enough to get on top, and Jalen Duren only played for 21 minutes and fouled out. How's that possible, dude? He's like Cat sometimes, where he just fouls for no reason. They had literally 21 more free throws than we did. You can't win doing that. You just can't. 4 games left on the season, and they're all against sub-500 teams except for the Pacers, who are, I believe, just over. Or they are exactly at 500, so we're going to wrap things up right now. But one thing I am going to change real quick. I'm just going to take off all play assignments for Tatum, because I think that the cutter play means that when he gets the ball on the wing, he can either shoot or attack the basket if there's a lane. I would just rather him not have that play at all, because that kind of takes the pass away to Boyd out of the corner, which is what I want in those late game situations. So we'll take plays off of Tatum, and we're going to send to the end of the season right now. And we're actually going to get Quinn Hilliard back a little bit earlier than I imagined, but I'm just going to let this roster play out the rest of these last 2 games before we bring him back in. And we have now lost 3 out of our last 4. Are you serious? 1 game left on the year. We are 4th in the conference. And the Cavaliers have 1 game left. The only way for us to get the 3 seed is if we win this game and they lose their last game. Same for the Grizzlies, who are also 1 game ahead of us, but I think they might have the tiebreaker. Who knows? But here we go. Last game of the season. It's against the Pacers, who are trying to finish the year over 500. In the first quarter, they win it. In the second quarter, we jump in front. Second half is going our way. The Pacers are trying to come back, but their comeback falls short. Boyd drops 29, only 3 guys in double figures in a very low-scoring game. But we come out on top behind our best player. For the Pacers, they only got 8 points for Halliburton and 7 assists, a minus 18 plus minus. Alton West drops 18 points, but that is going to be it for the Pacers. And I'm not sure where we're going to finish in the conference. But we do finish 7-3 in our last 10 games. And now we're going to see the awards. Victor Wembanyama surpasses Glenn Carroll for MVP. And I'm curious. Glenn Carroll. Why the hell was Poku at the top of this list? Glenn Carroll. I can't see his per game stats. I'm just going to keep it with Victor. I'm not going to give it to Carroll. But Carroll was in the running for most of the season. But Wemby passes him for it. Jimmy Thomas wins Rookie of the Year. 19 points per game over with Pittsburgh, who were awful. Tyler Hero, 6th Man of the Year, dropping over 21 points off the bench. Chet wins Depoy. It's finally not Mobley. I think he deserves that. Ray Morgan, Most Improved Player. Deanna Walton, Clutch Player of the Year. Brooke Banks, Coach of the Year. And Aaron Phillips, Executive of the Year. So no awards for us at all. Interesting. But Boyd again makes the NBA first team alongside Wemby, Carroll, John Morant, and Scoot Henderson. The second team, you got Garland, Tatum, Giddey, Luka, and Cade, followed by SGA, AC Cole, Ant, Trae Young, and Mobley. But SGA is injured heading into the postseason for the Thunder, so they might either have missed the playoffs or they might just lose in the first round. But AC Cole is fully healthy for the Warriors. That's good news for them. But he does make the all-defensive first team alongside Anthony Edwards, Evan Mobley, Mac Boyd once again, and Chet Holmgren. All-defensive second team, Wemby, Tatum, Keon Malone, Chuck Grant, and Anthony Black. All-rookie first team, Jimmy Thomas, Bryce Johnson, Willie Kelly, Dobanovich, and Donald Dunn. Followed by the second team, consisting of Pollard, Christie, Temple, Bowman, and Smith. Andrews does not make it. And in the postseason, the Suns end up with the 7th seed. They will face the Nuggets. You got the Trailblazers facing the Clippers. The Spurs end up with the 1 seed. We are going to be the 4 seed this year. And we're going to face Philadelphia in the first one, a team that we really have hardly faced throughout this entire franchise. I am not too familiar with these Sixers, but it's not going to be easy facing guys like Tyrese Maxey and Jabari Smith Jr. So, a very different matchup than we're used to, but I am here for it. Our lowest seed since, I believe, before the title streak. The Pistons get the 1. The Cavaliers have the 3. The Grizzlies secure the 2. In the play-in tournament, the Magic will face the Celtics. The Nets will face the Pacers. Let's just send the play-in tournament and see where things end up. Boston gets the 8th seed. Orlando gets the 7th seed. And over in the Western Conference, Phoenix wins the 7. So Scoot is going to be in the playoffs. Phoenix ends up making it. So we've got some really awesome matchups here. OKC ends their year very strong, finishing 3rd in the conference, but they're missing their best player. Hopefully, Chet can step up alongside RJ Barrett and their 2 free agent pickups. Golden State, the 5 seed, will face the 4 seed Timberwolves, and Denver's going to face the Spurs in the first round, but they're probably going to get smacked. So, a very different playoff bracket than we're used to, but I am excited for probably a very different postseason than we are usually used to based on these last couple of years. Very different year for us. But yeah, a 52-30 record. We finished the year, not the best in those last 4 games, but we did end up 7-3 in our last 10. And the offense was great throughout the entire season. And we honestly had a pretty good gap between us and the Sixers, with 6 games between the two. For the Neptunes, Mac Boyd ends up dropping over 30 points a game after being about 29 for most of the year, but 38-6 with 1.7 steals, 1.2 blocks, just shooting lights out like he always does. Jovanovic, Kuminga, Hilliard, and Agbaji all shoot over 40% from downtown. Jovanovic had one of his kind of lower scoring output years in quite a while, but it was because he was fatigued for a lot of the year, more so than any previous season, and so he just had to play a little bit less because of it. But if you look at his numbers, compared to last year, a pretty substantial drop-off. He did not shoot as well as last year, but I think he was still really solid. Jonathan Kuminga, kind of a similar story, around 4 points slower per game than last year, but I think their contributions still were key. And Wilson Towns played in every game, and he is now our top offensive scorer off the bench with 11.5 points per game. You pass the ball very well. Not too many turnovers compared to the assists. And he and Hilliard are a big part of that bench. So we are going to involve Hilliard off the bench, no doubt about it. Just got to figure out who do we take minutes away from, who do we give minutes to. I might not lower the rotation depth until the second or third round if guys are still fatigued. But it looks like most guys are going to be fresh entering the postseason. Jalen Duren ends up averaging about 8.5 and 9.9. Tatum, 7.2, but, I mean, he creates steals and creates turnovers. He's a good on-ball defender. So, those are your stats. And for the rookie, Cecil Andrews, how about him? 15 minutes a game, played in every single one. 7.2 and 3.7. Ends up shooting at about 54% from the field, taking about 6 shots a game. No complaints there. And to wrap up, Mac Boyd ends up having the most overall points, which means that he does, once again, win the scoring title for, I believe, the 4th straight season. He was followed by John Morant, Anthony Edwards, Tatum, and Scoot Henderson. Wemby in 6th. Top rebounder, Glenn Carroll. Most assists, Darius Garland. Most steals, Anthony Black, but Boyd was number 3. That's how good of a defender he has become. And block-wise, Chet Holmgren number 1 by a country mile. Most turnovers per game, SGA and Anthony Black both at 3.1. Best field goal percentage, Jalen Duren. He does that a lot. And then top 3-point shooter, Buford, I guess, qualifies for it, but does not qualify for 3-point attempts. So really, it's going to be Ifeanyi Lawal for the Pelicans, but Dariq Whitehead also shot the ball very well from downtown. The top free throw shooter was SGA, no surprises there. And the top plus-minus was Victor Wembanyama at 8.9, followed by his point guard, Junior Fleming, his small forward, Cam Whitmore, his shooting guard, Amon Thompson. So 4 Spurs in the top 4. That's how good they've been this year. I think the moves that they made are going to really push them over the edge. If we get to the finals, we might be seeing them there. But that is going to do it, folks, here in year number 9. It took us 4 episodes to get through it, but I think we paced it pretty well. So the 9th postseason of the series, and I believe the 6th playoff appearance for the Neptunes, and we gotta face Philly, a city that I absolutely despise. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments down below on any thoughts on the episode heading into the postseason, and I will see you guys in round 1 next time around. Peace out.